I'm going over to his house in the mornings, and I'm like, he's teaching me the offense on his whiteboard in his house, going crazy. And I'm like trying to write all the down. I'm like, oh my God, I'm never going to remember any of this. I just got off a bender in Mexico. This. There goes my vacation. I remember he's got like my film up on his phone. He's like, do you remember this play? I'm like, yeah, like I'm trying to have a margarita and some chips, bro.
Welcome back to New Heights, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages.
Yeah.
92%ers, a Wondery show produced by Wave Sports and Entertainment. New Heights is brought to you by Nike.
Yeah.
One of my all-time favorites. Shout out to Nike. When the world says you can't win, Nike says, so win.
Yeah.
We're your hosts. I'm Travis Kelsey. This is Jason Kelsey, my big brother out of Cleveland Heights, Ohio. Northeast Ohio till I die, baby. East side. Subscribe on YouTube, Wondery Plus, wherever you get your podcasts, and follow the social media channels at New Heights Show with 1S. Jason, tell the people what we got coming up.
We've got an incredible episode coming up for you guys. First, we're going to tell you how you can win an official New Heights Golden Cup that I was supposed to bring to this episode that I did not. Sorry, it's not here right now, but
Jason,
the baby is back. We're going to start doing fan contests starting today. We're going to reveal our first fan contest of the offseason where you'll have an opportunity to win a New Heights Gold Cup.
That's some exciting
Sounds pretty
shit.
exciting. All right. We're also going to be answering some not dumb questions, and we have an incredible conversation coming up with a friend of ours and a current still LA Ram, Mr. Matthew Stafford.
The Texas gunslinger.
But first, we're going to a little bit to that new news.
New news.
All right, new news is brought to you by Audible.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, baby.
Audible. I want to hear what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That should be their slogan.
That's
from
it.
here
Did you
on
just
out.
come up with Audible's new slogan? Like catchphrase?
If they want to use it, they're going to have to pay me a lot of money.
If you want to hear what they're talking about.
If you want to hear what I'm talking about.
That's the way every Audible book should just start. Like, James Clear, Atomic Habits. Yeah. If you want to hear what they're talking about.
March Madness Bracket Challenge. 92%ers, we're pumped. Fucking jacked up.
I mean, who's not?
For
It's
our
March
first
Madness.
fan contest of the year, and a gold cup
is on the line.
That's right. If you remember, we had a bracket challenge last year that decided the best team name. The winner was the Vikings.
Yep.
That's still up to debate. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, listen, it's not a debate. It's the one that won. It's a debate whether that was accurate.
Well, won. And this year we're going full March Madness. That is right. We are the first ever New Heights Tournament Challenge with Reese's Peanut Butter Cups.
Wait, time out. How does Reese's factor into this?
This is...
Oh, okay. I didn't know if we were giving them the cup with Reese's inside of it as the choice.
Good idea.
Great idea. It's like 2 trophies.
Great idea.
Are they lava big cups or just regular cups?
Whatever they send us.
Or Reese's Peanut Butter Puffs. What if it's just a conglomerate of Reese's Peanut Butter Puffs, Reese's regular peanut butter cups, Reese's big lava cups, Reese's Pieces? I actually just got a protein from Cellular that's Reese's flavored.
I was out when you said conglomerate. We will post links to where you can make your picks and enter this bracket challenge. You'll play against us, me and Jason, at New and the New
and
Heights
everybody
team.
else that submits a bracket. But yes, we will be in it too.
Yeah, Jason doesn't even know what a basketball is made of.
It's made of leather.
Oh,
and air.
That's what he thought. All the college balls are made of some sort of composite now, Jason.
Yeah, it's probably not.
You're a fucking idiot.
Right? I don't. Yeah, I have not watched 1 ounce of college basketball this year.
Not even a lick.
Which is why I feel extremely confident.
In a lot of ways.
What I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do.
Okay.
I'm going to go to Audible and I'm going to look up the books on how to master March Madness, and I'm going to read up on them. And you're going to be doing...
Well, you don't read on Audible.
Huh? Well, I'm going to listen up on them.
Okay.
And then I'm going to come in with a wealth of knowledge on how to pick March Madness teams, and I'm going to kick your ass.
No way, Jose.
I'm going to Audible James
Can you
Wooden's...
name one team in the top 25?
Duke.
Lucky guess.
It was.
Can you name one player in NCAA basketball?
Holy fuck.
One player, Jason.
Jesus Christ. I don't think I can.
I don't think Jesus is in the NCAA. No.
Well, he's everywhere, Travis.
So they say. So they say.
Yeah, I don't think I can.
He doesn't even know who we gave NIL money to at the University of Cincinnati.
I don't. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know one name.
Jizzle James. Shout out to Jizzle James.
Jizzle James.
Yeah, he's still there.
He's still there?
Yeah, he's rocky. He's our only hope. We got to make a run in the Big 12 tourney from what I think. Rules are simple. Sign up using the link in the episode's description. Entry with the highest score wins. We will do our best to limit it to one entry per person. All right, so please don't enter multiple times, even though that is going to get you the best chance to win.
Yeah.
There will be a bracket for both men's.
We're on the honor code, people.
There will be a bracket for both the men's and women's tournaments, so we'll be handing out 2 golden cups.
We're handing out 2 golden cups. Questions: have either of you watched any college basketball games this year? We answered that. Do you guys usually fill out brackets ever?
I will say this. Mom used to get Cavs tickets if she won the bracket at work.
So you'd fill it out for her?
And I used to fill it out for her, and that was how I got free Cavs tickets.
That's not how you got free Cavs tickets from Fairfax Elementary School.
Go ahead, tell him. Go ahead, tell him what happened. You're still thinking about it. 30 years later, Jason.
I'm just regurgitating a fact. I'm not thinking about it. You brought up a false
I won
fact.
my fight. You didn't. You got suspended, and I got Cavs tickets.
What do you mean you won I won my fight. What are you talking about? I did not lose my fight.
I think that's why you didn't get the Cavs tickets.
No, I didn't get Cavs tickets because I got suspended for beating the shit out of a kid.
Okay. So why did I get Cavs tickets?
Because you schmoozed the principal.
What?
Yeah.
You think that's how I got Cavs tickets?
Yes. The principal loved you. Mrs. McBee did not like me.
I'm pretty sure Mrs. McBee despised our entire household.
No, I think she liked... Not really sure.
That's it for new news, brought to you by Audible.
All right.
Gonna hear what I'm talking about. Jason.
Yep, I'll tee it up.
Want to do the honors?
Alrighty, our guest today is from Highland Park High School in Dallas, Texas. He was the number 1 pick in the 2009 draft, a 2-time Pro Bowl, Super Bowl champion, and still the quarterback of the Los Angeles Rams. Please welcome Mr. Matthew Stafford.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. That's a hell of an intro.
No.
I need you in-game.
Yeah.
Need you in-game for me.
I'll come do that anytime. How you doing,
Get him
brother?
on the mic
I'm
at
good,
Rams
man.
house, baby.
I'd say you're doing pretty good. You finally got...
Yes.
The elephant out of the room of the offseason, I guess,
yes.
right? Yeah.
That was a little nerve-wracking there for a little bit, just trying to figure out what was going to go down, but happy to be back wearing, Rams colors, playing at SoFi, doing the thing.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, man. We knew you had like a ridiculous amount of success in Detroit, but it kind of feels like LA is like where you really, I don't know, it feels like it's where you kind of made it home, or at least on the football field, man.
Yeah, for sure. I've been lucky to be playing here with Coach, McVay and all my teammates and all those guys for, a few years now, and we love it here. My family loves it here. I love playing here. The brand of football fits my style.
Oh yeah.
I love going to work and playing in front of the fans. It's a blast. It has been a really cool thing. Obviously, coming from Detroit. Very different place than Los Angeles. Love both of them.
Many ways.
Yeah.
But this has been a cool change up, and my family's settled in great, and we love it here.
Love it, man.
You said your brand of football, but do you have a brand? Could you fit in any offense?
We were just talking about running midline back in the day.
Little triple
I
option
remember the old
football,
coaching
right?
points,
So how drastically different was it coming to LA and being with Sean and this offense versus what you were doing in Detroit? And did you have multiple different offenses in Detroit?
Yeah, I had a few.
I felt like you were always airing it out, but
Yeah, I definitely, I've experienced a lot. This past season was 16. This will be 17 coming up. So I've had a few offensive coordinators. I've done like the Peyton Manning, no huddle at the line of scrimmage thing. We did that with Jim Bob when he was in Detroit for a while. Scott Linehan was my first coordinator when I first came to the league in 2009 for like 5 years. I mean, that seems so far back. Like defense, offense, all of it was so different at that point. But yeah, I've had a few. I feel like any player, any competitive player should be like, yeah, put me in any system and I'll thrive. I don't care. You call the plays and I'll haul them. Mm-hmm. But it has been fun with Sean. The way he challenges all of us, not only like physically on the field, but mentally in the approach to the game and all the things that he asked me to do at the line of scrimmage or pre-snap, whatever it is. It's a lot, but I think it makes us successful, and it's fun. getting that challenge from your coach,
Sure.
being like, hey, I think you can handle all this. And he gives me all that, and it ends up being successful. That's a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Oh, it's fun to watch. And I think
I appreciate it.
we've talked about this before, but that like McVay offense, Shanahan offense, the run play action is so dynamic on first, second down. But what was obviously great the moment you got there winning the Super Bowl was taking this guy who could do drop back passing at a high level and function in that type of setting. Combined with that, it felt like just like the perfect marriage.
Yeah.
Did the offense change around you when you got there as well, almost just as much as you had to learn the new stuff?
Yeah, 100%. That's a very good, way of kind of describing what, what transpired and what happened. For sure, I got there, and I remember Sean and I were maybe, a couple weeks into me being out in LA, and he's like, hey, you, me, Kelly, and Veronica, let's go, let's go drink some wine up in, like Santa Barbara area. I'm like, all right, cool. We're going on a little wine trip, go for a day.
Right away, different than Detroit.
Correct. yes. 100 badass beer with Kid Rock or something like that at one point. But no, it's
tons of fun to happen in Detroit.
Yes,
You're not
exactly.
yeah.
So we're cruising up there. We're like 30 minutes into our ride up there, and my guy pulls out a piece of paper and he's like, all right, so here's the drop back stuff. I'm like, okay, I got it. I haven't even had any red wine yet, and we're already into this.
I love this shit.
But he's like, here's this package I'm thinking about. We'll go no huddle, jump the ball, and we'll do it. And sure enough, that's what we did a bunch, especially in 2021, and launched it all over the field and had a bunch of success. But when I got, here, he was like, man, drop back pass has been something that, we've always wanted to try and elevate, just as that core system. And I was like, well, that's kind of all I did in Detroit. Like we didn't really run the ball or play action it very often. It was just like I'm in the gun and here we go.
50 attempts.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it was like, oh, that's the easy part for me. Like I've done this my whole career. So it was it was a good marriage, and it's worked out well.
Let's talk about the decision to stay in LA.
Okay.
There are a lot of rumors out there, getting wooed from New York, Raiders, LA, contract stuff.
Yeah.
What was ultimately the deciding factor to come back and re-sign with LA?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was kind of a joint process, right? Like it wasn't just, I wasn't a free agent. I still had 2 years left on my deal, and we kind of worked something out last year, kind of at the, at the 11th hour to kind of figure it out right before training camp, with the understanding that, okay, we're going to come back and readdress this if I want to play again the next year.
Sure.
Had a nice season and wanted, felt healthy, wanted to keep going. And, so it was like, all right, let's figure out how to get this done. Obviously, there was some trade rumors and some things like that transpired that was, a little bit tough on your family just because you don't really know what's going to be next. I remember when I was getting traded from Detroit to LA, really a couple weeks before that, I had made it known that I wanted to be traded from Detroit, and I can't tell you how much time I spent on Zillow at that point looking at houses in Indy and there and all these places back then, right? So you're just like, and I'm sitting there going, man, where am I going to be? Where are my kids going to school? All this kind of stuff. And, a little bit of a similar situation just because, of what was out there and what was going on. But I think in the end, I know that they wanted me back. I wanted to be back. We just had to kind of figure that out and get to that point. We did, and I'm sure as hell happy that, I'm going to be here for at least another year and hopefully some after that.
Love it.
Hell yeah. I remember coming out of the draft, I had a, what do you call it, where they fly you in.
Top 30 visit or whatever?
Yeah. I had a top 30 visit to Washington.
Yeah.
And at the time had no idea what would eventually transpire to be like 4 out of the 4 head coaches just sitting in like the player positions at the time. And McVay was one of them. And he was the tight end coach. So I spent most of my time talking to McVay about ball. And I just remember him talking so fucking fast.
It hasn't changed.
And he's just rambling and he's just ripping them. And I'm just like, dude, I don't know how you got me jacked up about playing football right now, but you're the only one to do it. It was like, it was him and like, ironically, Dan Campbell were the two that I was like, man, these dudes love this shit.
Yes.
And like during installs throughout the building, like, is he just nonstop 100 miles per hour and just all about ball?
Yes, all day, every day. The guy loves it. I mean, shoot, like I said, we're going on a wine trip and the guy's ripping off plays. He just can't stop and loves it. But it is cool to watch him do his thing. He's so, like you said, he's great one-on-one, right? He's great teaching me the offense. I remember when I first, got traded here, I was actually, a long story, but I was in Mexico, randomly ran into him, whatever, it happened. I fly back and I'm going over to his house in the mornings and I'm like, he's teaching me the offense on his whiteboard in his house, going crazy. And I'm like trying to write all the shit down. I'm like, oh my God, I'm never going to remember any of this. I just got off a bender in Mexico. But,
the old Shockey, baby.
Yeah, exactly.
Gets you every time.
But yeah, he's like that one-on-one. He's all day, every day, loves football. But then he gets up in front of the room and he can relate to everybody. He commands the room. He's got great energy, sets the tone for the week every single week, and guys, thrive on it. So it's a lot of fun going to work, in that building, especially when we're winning. He's in a good mood and rocking and rolling. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, man.
I was about to say, I don't even know if I want to put, but the only time I've literally met Sean, Kyle and I were in Maui on vacation.
Yeah.
And him and Veronica walk through, and he makes a point to come over, and same thing.
Yes.
Immediately talking football.
Yes.
And like, hey, we'll meet up. And I'm like, I can just see the look of Veronica's face. Like, this happens all day,
all the time,
every day for her. She's like, all right, we're on vacation in Maui, and this fucking idiot still wants to talk about football.
100%. She probably saw me walk into the pool in Mexico and was like, fuck this. There goes my vacation. I remember he's got like my film up on his phone. He's like, do you remember this? I'm like, yeah, like I'm trying to have a margarita and some chips, bro.
Dude, so good, bro. But he's just got to know, man.
No,
he's just got to know.
He is what he is.
I enjoy talking ball with him.
Yeah,
He ropes you in, man.
100%.
He ropes you in. He just wants to get better, man. I fucking love that.
No doubt.
Well, you guys got a lot of talent around you over there.
Yep.
I'm sure that had a lot to do with you wanting to come back.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it feels like a great situation over there. Obviously, the Cooper Kupp decision of whether he's going to be back, things like that. One of the best receivers in the league still.
Yeah.
Obviously dealt with some stuff last year, but is it like, and we don't have to talk about this if you don't want to, but have you talked to him?
Well, yeah, I mean, I was, I ran into him right kind of when they told him the news that they were, talking about trading him, and obviously that one is tough. It's you're around this game long enough, those kind of things happen, and it's tough, especially for a guy that's meant so much to me in my career and how he helped me kind of, get in with the Rams and just in that locker room and what it's all about to be a part of that team. He was such a huge part of that for me. So it's tough. And I've spent probably more time with him as a teammate than really any other teammate, in my career. Yeah. And that just kind of happened organically. I would go in there early and, sure enough, Cooper would be in there, or he'd walk in, as I'm walking in, and we start watching tape together, and then it just turned into a thing that we just did every day. And so I've spent a ton of time with him. He's meant a ton to me, as a player, but even more probably as a person. You talk to guys, including Sean, guys around that team that have been with him for extended periods of time, and he's a fantastic player. He means a ton to our team, but just as a human being, as a person, he's as good as it gets. So whether he's with us, which I love, I love Cooper and would love opportunity to continue to play with him, but or if he's somewhere else, I mean, whoever gets him, it's going to be, he's a fantastic person for the locker room, for the team, and when he's healthy, he's still balling.
Hell yeah. Man, I still remember that goddamn interview where he just started ripping off defensive coverages and stuff, dude. That shit was so, but it was like, I mean, that dude's the mind is going, man. And he's dialed in, dude.
The story, I mean, he's like the nicest guy in the world, right? Yeah. And so the story behind that is he's like doing this interview post game, which he doesn't, love being in front of the camera anyways. And he's doing an interview, and the reporter asks him a question. He answers it. She asks him another question. He answers it. It's like a third question. He's like, okay, what is going on here? And this, he's like, I'm trying to get off the field, get in the locker room and go. She asks him one more question. And so he's like, you know what? I'm just going to go top rope way over your head so that you're just going to go, okay, thanks, Cooper. See you later.
That's brilliant.
He hits her with just like we saw the zone pressure. I knew it was the mic was working away because we got 3 out. Matthew changed protection. I catch it, now beat the safety. I'm like, you just went like rogue football on this reporter, and she was just like, and that's Cooper Kupp. See, he's like, thank God I can go take a shower and get out of here. But it was pretty veteran move by Coop to get out of that one.
You were saying he watches film with you guys. Is he that like in tune with like protection calls and stuff like that, or was he just trying to get out of that interview?
He's pretty dialed in. Like he asked me really good questions.
Nice.
Just from a quarterback perspective, I mean, he knows as much or more than any other teammate I've ever had. This guy will be watching practice or something, and he's like, hey, run that play back, and I'm like, and it's some run play, and he's like, we really could, knock it back, tag it back one here with these angles in single high, and I could just block the mic instead of having to go out to the nickel in this 2x2 set. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, if you want it to change, go ahead, man. He's grinding on every run play, every single thing. He's meticulous about, and shoot, it's part of what makes him great.
I gotta love it. You gotta tell me the difference though of a guy like him than a guy like DeMarcus Robinson.
Oh yeah, baby, D-Rob.
One of my favorite teammates of all time.
He's so great. D-Rob is the man. I love D-Rob. He's been great for our team. I think he's got some crazy streak where he's been on he's played for 9 years, played for a few different teams, and he's made the playoffs every single year.
Dude,
so he's
ridiculous.
just he's the good luck charm.
Yeah,
you just got to bring him back. But he's he's a great player. Okay to not know to tag it back one in a single high. He's okay with not knowing that.
And it's good, baby. We're gonna figure it out,
baby. But instinct-wise, got great instincts.
Great instincts,
you could just tell him out there and be like, hey, we're gonna run wide zone at you, and he'd probably end up on the right guy.
He's a ball player,
he just gets it. So much fun to play with.
Even Puka, man.
What a character. Yeah.
You guys got so much talent out there.
Puka's a monster, man. He's for a young guy to come in and done what he's been able to do the last couple of years is pretty outstanding. Obviously, had a great guy to learn from with Coop as far as kind of where to be in that offense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then once the ball's in his hand, that's some of the best stuff he does is just running physical and playing physical. It's pretty cool to see.
Heck yeah.
Do you think the receivers in that offense need to be a little bit more dialed in with all the motions and how responsible they are in the run game?
Yeah, you won't play if you're not.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's kind of the way it is. And a lot of 2x2 sets where the F and the X, where Coop and old D-Rob are out there together. So there was
who you got?
Yes.
So there were 2 peas in a pod out there in the 2x2 sets.
Oh, I love it, man.
And so
rely on your teammates.
Not illegal to communicate.
I miss those combos with D-Rob, man.
Not illegal to communicate out there.
When they signed Brandon Brooks.
The thing is, you get me and D-Rob on the same side. We're over there
oh God.
We'll both just get somebody there.
I think when they signed Brandon Brooks, they're like, part of your job is telling Lane Johnson, what the call is.
Yeah, 100%.
Let's make sure we're bouncing this call out.
Echoing the call. We got to echo the call.
100%. That's part of it, man.
He's going to block TJ Watt one-on-one.
Yes.
You're going to let him know what the call is.
Yes. That's the beauty of the game, though, right? There's give and take from everybody, and no doubt it happens. It's fun to watch.
Let's talk about the Super Bowl season.
Yep.
Talks about a little bit. You went there in the first year.
Mm-hmm.
When you signed in LA, did you anticipate that happening that quickly? I mean, probably not, right?
No, right? Any guy that just says, "Yeah, I'll just show up there and we'll win the Super Bowl." Obviously, no. It was, I was excited about the opportunity. I didn't think it was going to happen there just because I think I was going there just because of, the, contract stuff they had just done with Jared and all that. So,
sure.
But I ended up there and, I knew we had a talented team, but I just knew that I felt a ton of pressure because I think they returned 10 guys on offense except for me.
Yeah.
And maybe all 11 guys on defense. And I'm like, I'm not going to be the asshole that doesn't know what's going on. You know what I mean? So it was like a lot of pressure, especially at my position. I'm supposed to know everybody's job in and out. So spent a lot of time and a lot of hours just kind of making sure that when I stepped into huddle day one, they weren't like, this guy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was like, all right, not only physically could I do what I could do, but I want to make sure that mentally they were like, oh, okay, this guy's on it. And so spent a bunch of time, and I knew we were talented. I didn't know how talented, but you guys have been on those teams. It's like, the week 1 starters we had compared to, what we were doing at the end. It's totally different. And so being able to navigate that whole thing was incredible. It was an incredible year. We had so many talented guys, especially late after we signed Odell, we signed Vaughn.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like going out to practice was like,
team,
this was just unbelievable practices we had against each other.
Swag champs, man. You get 2 swag champs like that.
It was wild. It was wild.
Especially in LA, man.
Yeah. They were fun teammates to have, and I still talk to those guys, but it was a special moment. I mean, it was just a lot of years in Detroit, not knowing if that was ever going to be an opportunity to get and play in those games, and going through the playoffs and winning those games to get to that point was special, and then getting to do it at our own home stadium was crazy.
And a lot of people focus on your time in LA just because I think the success has been there as a team.
Mm-hmm.
You balled the fuck out in Detroit.
Oh, every year.
Yeah, every year.
Fun.
Calvin Johnson.
Yeah.
I mean,
what the fuck was it like throwing
guys,
to Calvin Johnson, dude?
He was a monster, man.
Dude, Megatron, man.
Yeah, just a creative player. He didn't say much, and I wish I would have got obviously more time with him. Anytime you got a great player like that, you're like, man, I wish I had more time to play with that guy. But I just think about like plug and play him in the system we're in right now, and I'm like, oh my God,
boy,
would have been scary.
That's a guy that you can plug into any system.
No doubt. I mean, the guy was playing at Georgia Tech.
Yes, exactly.
He was literally
Wow.
playing.
Yeah, put him out there. Yeah, he can figure it out.
But he is an incredible player. I've been lucky to play with a bunch of talented receivers, all kind of different styles and body types and all that kind of stuff. But he is, I mean, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Throwing balls to him, I was like, it feels like you're throwing to a D end. I mean, like that's what he looked like running around out there. It was crazy.
Enormous. I mean, you have two. So Cooper in what year was that?
21 for Coop.
21?
Yeah.
And then Calvin in 12?
12.
I mean, two of the top 5 receiving seasons of anybody in the history of the game.
Yeah.
And they have you as a person throwing. What does that mean? Like, do you remind them that you're the person that did it?
I just send a yearly text. You're welcome. No, it's cool. It is. It's something that I feel like lucky to be a part of. You know what I mean?
I'm sure.
It was incredible watching both those guys do it in completely different ways. You know, Cooper like majority from the slot. Just unbelievable finding his way through catch and run guy, and then Calvin just line him up on the outside and let him go to work on people. It was cool to be a part of both. I definitely am proud of it, and that we got that done. It's a special thing, I guess. I guess I get that number one guy the ball a lot if he's getting open. So.
Schwartz used to tell me that you guys run a goal line play where Calvin would be singled up, forward to the other side. And we used to call it diamond. Yeah. Where it's like quarterback draw if it's a light box. Yep. Calvin, if he's got the one-on-one, we're taking it. And if they double him, you got the screen. Yeah. And he's like, you could not be right. Yeah. Like, it was like a cheat code.
It was. And then, we would get to the point where I would... It was hard down there on the goal line to see leverage.
Sure.
For me, like, was the guy playing inside you or outside of you or whatever? So I got to a point where, like, Calvin and I he would just signal to me whether he wanted the fade or the glance kind of. Yeah. And he would just go open hand, closed hand on the inside hand. He just closed hand I'm running the fade.
Sneaky son of a bitch.
Open hand.
Biggest dude on the field.
Yeah.
Sneaky.
Just one hand open. I'm like, ooh, here comes this one right here. Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, it was crazy. And then we went and played the Saints and they ended up vicing him, down in like punt pro.
Punt return,
And then the next year, I'll never forget, we're playing at Arizona, and like the first third down of the game, he's in the slot, and we're running like 525 F post swing, like and he's viced on third down.
Third down
from like our minus 20, like opening possession.
We're
of the
not
game.
letting them ruin the game.
Yeah. I'm like, geez, guys, relax.
I mean, listen, that's what we treated Aaron Donald. We viced him all game.
Yeah, so I get it.
I can completely relate.
And I threw it to like Pettigrew, and we didn't get the first down or something. And I come back and I'm like, how was it? He's like, I still got open. And I'm like, fuck. This guy, of course he would get open. You know what I mean? It killed
We're
me,
going to cancel him out since there's two guys vicing him.
Still won. I'm like, God. He was crazy.
March Madness is coming up. That's right. I don't know if you know it, but March is here. It's going to be wild.
Everyone always locks in on the men's tournament, but the women's bracket is shaping up to be unreal.
Yeah. Have you seen Juju Watkins?
Come on now.
What she's doing over at USC, absolutely electric.
Electric. We got to meet her out in France last year, actually. If you're not already on the Juju team, now's your chance to say you were there early. That's right.
The level of talent she brings to the women's game is generational. I'm telling you, do not sleep on the women's tournament.
Yeah, she can literally do it all, man. This is the year, and make sure you keep your eye on Juju Watkins. Her mindset is next level, like the way she attacks everything she does.
She's got that classic Nike energy. When the people say you can't, she's like, watch me, and just does it.
You got that right. And shout out to our partner Nike, who she also partners with. They came out with that insane commercial around the Super Bowl that we showed you guys, and now they're out inspiring the next generation of hoopers.
Stay tuned for what they've got going on for March Madness.
I cannot wait.
Now, a moment brought to you by American Express.
Ooh, I like how you went down here, Jason. Yes. Do you have any fun dining experiences planned for maybe St. Patrick's Day?
I'm going to dine on 15 freaking Guinnesses.
Ooh, nice. Well, they are packed with protein. Are you going to fit in with the holiday theme?
I'm going to be wearing green.
Ooh. Right.
I might. I don't know. Do I go slapsticky and do like all like the Kiss Me I'm Irish stuff? Or do I just go like a green sweater with a Jeff cap and just drink Guinness?
Well, that's fun.
With Amex Platinum, you will get global dining access by Resy when you add your Platinum card to your Resy profile.
So you can experience some of the hottest restaurants with access to exclusive reservations and even be notified when a hard-to-get reservation opens up.
That's the powerful backing accessed by American Express.
For full terms and access to learn more, visit americanexpress.com/withamex.
Thank you to our partner, Mentos Gum. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Do-ah. We did it!
Life's got its mundane moments.
The morning commute, the endless calls, the same playlist on repeat. But what if you could shake things up with just one small move?
Guys, that's where Mentos Gum comes in. That first burst of freshness. It's like hitting the fresh button to make ordinary moments fun.
Suddenly, you're not just sitting in traffic, you're jamming out to your own private concert.
All right now.
The back-to-back meeting marathon? Now your mind is zooming and grooving with fresh ideas.
From the crisp kick of fresh mint to fruity strawberry, each piece is refreshing with possibility.
Refresh every day with Mentos Gum.
I was going to take it back, man. How does a Texas gunslinger like yourself end up in Georgia?
Yeah. Well, both my parents went to Florida State, so I wasn't like a Texas kid growing up. Like, wasn't like Longhorns or Aggies or any of that kind of stuff. So,
But your whole life you grew up in Texas.
I did.
Yeah.
But I loved like Florida State.
Yeah.
I wanted to go to Florida State. I ended up getting an offer from him, but the offensive coordinator at Florida State for a long time was Mark Richt. He then became the head coach at Georgia. So I started watching Georgia. And my sister went there the year before me. And really the couple years before I went to Georgia, they were like second and fifth in the country. They were a really good program. And I frankly wanted to be doing what I'm doing right now, playing pro football as fast as I could. I went there, took a visit. It was like a pro-style offense.
Yeah.
Felt like I had a chance to play early. And I don't know. I wasn't like I wasn't like in love with the recruiting process. And it's so different back then than it is now anyway.
Imagine what the shit is like now.
So I just was like, let me get into where I fit in and keep it moving. And I loved my time there. It was great. Got to play with Noshawn, a bunch of, talented players.
Hell yeah.
AJ Green, some of those guys. So I was never like in love with University of Texas football. So I know all my buddies wanted me to go there because
I was about to say, even the day and age you're coming out
Brandon,
is like
our intern right here, Brandon, is the biggest Texas Longhorn fan you'll ever see.
I'm sorry. Well, you know what didn't help is I went to Texas. I sat down with Greg Davis, who was the offensive coordinator.
First mistake.
Yeah, and he pulls up tape of the game the year before. It's Vince Young versus Oklahoma
That's what I'm
State.
saying. You're in like the heart of like prime Texas football.
Balling, but it was like, hey, this is four verts concept here. This is like they had some crazy comeback at the end of the game. And the second half, Vince went crazy. And he was like, we were running four verts. And he's like, this is beater box. And then we check it down. We say beater box back. That's like seam outside, go to the back, right?
Sounds like a Texas
right,
fucking
100%,
offense.
right? He goes, well, when Vince is quarterback, we just say beater box and run. And I'm like, well, I ain't fucking running, bro. Like, show me some major Applewhite tape. That's what I need. Like, find me here. Yeah. And he just showed me Vince stuff. And I'm like, I'm not going to hurdle the middle linebacker and do this shit. So can you just like find me here? And it didn't fit.
It didn't click,
But yeah,
that's amazing.
That was my story
shit.
at Texas. I was like, I don't know what to tell you. That's not my skill set.
So good, man.
It was fun though.
So you go from Georgia, you're drafted in the first round, first pick.
Yeah.
At what point did you know you were going number one?
It was like a couple nights before, maybe a night or two before.
Yeah.
Back when they kind of did that, and like figure out contracts and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I was in New York already, so it was doing the whole draft thing and
You're doing the whole rigmarole, yeah.
Yeah, and they kind of called my agent, and told him we're gonna do it. And I was like, all right, sweet, this is kind of nice walking into the green room, not
having any stress.
Yeah, having any stress at all, knowing this will be a short sit, and it was, just kind of sat down, popped back up, and kept it moving. It was a whirlwind. It was crazy. I think back on that, and I'm like, man, what I didn't know, right? Like so much, but it was a blast.
Did you immediately jump on a jet to Detroit, or did you?
Yeah, the next morning. So I like went out.
That's not immediate. Did you have a little fun in the city?
Had some good times with I had a bunch of college buddies there, and some of my family was there too. So we went and had a good time, kicked it. I had to pick my number. The next morning, the team president calls me early in the morning.
Oh, yeah, nice.
And I'm like, He's like, what number do you want? And I'm like, 7. You know, that's what it was in college.
Right.
He's like, well, Dutch Clark, 1932 Detroit Lion.
Yeah.
Got his number
retired.
retired. And I was like, oh, shit. And they were like, we can call his family and see if he would unretire it for you. I'm like, no. All good.
Yeah.
Rifling through the numbers. Like, my dad's in the room. A buddy of mine's in the room. And I'm like, hey, guys, what number should I be?
Nice.
And I'm like rifling through these. Like, you don't want that one or you don't want that one. And I was like, all right, I'll just go with 9. Is 9 available? They're like, yeah, 9 works. I'm like, cool.
Nice.
And in my head, I'm like, great, I don't have to change my signature much. And like the 7 just goes to a 9.
There
Like,
we go.
I'm
There
good,
we
right?
go.
This is
Yeah.
easy. So, after that, proceeded to, hop on a jet and fly to Detroit. So
Love it.
Before the 2 days before when they called you, were there any other teams that you thought, I might end up there? Like, or how's the process, I guess, before the draft?
It was, I took a couple of those 30 visits you were talking about.
Yeah.
I took one to Detroit. I took one to the Jets. And then I took one to San Fran.
Okay.
And so the Jets, when I left there, they were like, we're moving up to 5 to pick somebody. If you're not there, and they ended up taking Sanchez
Oh, yeah.
at 5. They moved up to 5 to take him. And then the 49ers was a different deal. They had the 10th pick. They ended up taking Crabtree. But some, like, at the combine, there had been some, like, stuff going on in the interview, right? Where I sat down with Peter King afterwards, and he was like, hey, what's the craziest thing that happened at the combine in the meetings, right?
Sure.
And that was kind of back when they would ask you stuff you can't say now or ask now.
Sure. Okay.
And so I'm like, well, San Fran's deal, it was Singletary was the head coach.
Yeah.
And it was like a shrink, like a like a psychiatrist,
psychologist,
sports psychologist, psychiatrist lady.
Yeah.
She's talking to me about all these different things, and it's like, tell me about your parents. I'm like, my parents got divorced, when I was in high school, and okay, do you want to talk about it? I'm like, not really. Like, they're cool. Like, it's okay.
Yeah.
So Peter King's like, what's the strangest thing? I'm like, well, my 12 minutes with the Niners at that point was, it was like, I wanted to know how much of the prorated hour I owed him after my 12 minutes. And I said that, and he wrote that, and I was like, and so Mike got all pissed off and was like, he's not, ready to be a quarterback in the league, and he got mad. So I had to fly out there and like, just kind of like shake hands and be like, listen, man, I didn't mean anything by it.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a joke, but that was
a complete waste of my time.
Dude, I fly out to San Fran. I'm on the East Coast. I'm in Atlanta at the time. I fly out to San Fran. I go there. I meet with Mike. This is awesome. He's getting a Bowflex put in his office. As I'm walking in, I'm like, hell yeah.
He's getting the Chuck Norris put in.
I'm like, dude, of course.
He got scammed by the commercial.
He's just like,
damn it.
Been there before.
That shit.
And I'm like, this is awesome. But like, it was honestly a great meeting with him, the whole deal. And so, I'm meeting with them. They're like, hey,
that's so good.
we're like, you're not going to be there at 10. We're not going to get a chance to
Had
take
a Slim
you.
Flask milkshake next to him.
Doing Tybo.
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
Hey.
It was short-lived.
The league has changed quite a bit.
Yes, it has. Yes, it has. Oh, man. Good old Mike.
Yeah. All right. Well,
God damn, that was good. What do you think the biggest change in the league has been?
Besides both
Bowflex's and coaches' office.
Exactly.
Golly. I mean, it has changed a ton, right? Like, I feel like the X's and O's parts of it is so cyclical, and like, it was all, when I first got in the league, it was all Tampa 2. What were y'all's first years? Yours?
I was 11.
13.
Okay, yeah. So it was like all Tampa 2.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Chicago Bears,
Tampa 2. They're bringing the Mike and the nickel, playing 3-week way, or they're bringing the free safety and Urlacher's cutting and picking 4-week and taking him to the house, right?
It was like the pressures were all these like zone dog.
100%. That's all it was, right?
Yeah.
And then it went to like, okay, Seattle, we're playing 3 deep, 4 under. We got the like weak hook player carrying 3 vertical, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then it's, a lot of what you guys are doing, I think is great, and whatever. So I think scheme wise, it's, it's really been like cyclical. I think the way they can hit players now has changed so much. I mean, I used to get just absolutely dumped by dudes. Just
you've got some iconic, just like
getting crushed,
face mask going in all
100%.
Sorts of different directions.
Yeah, there's been some tough, some lean moments there.
Some good, man.
You'll still catch them now.
Just some good memes nowadays.
Yeah,
That's all it is. Just a good
it's
meme.
not the same. Yeah.
No, it's not the same. I remember at one off season, I was in the NFC North for forever, and Julius Peppers, who was with Chicago at the time,
Like I would just talk to you and sound intimidating.
Jared Allen.
Julius Peppers.
North Carolina.
Are you out of like of an action movie? What the fuck are you doing on this football field?
But Pep and Jared Allen were both free agents.
Yeah.
In Minnesota and Chicago. I'm like, good, get the fuck out of here. I'm tired of seeing you guys. And they just fucking switched teams.
Yeah.
Damn it. Like Julius is in Green Bay and Jared's in Chicago, and I'm like, God, I can't get rid of these guys. But no, it was different times back then.
Yeah.
I mean, really all aspects of the game, I feel like. But, I mean, none of the guys were doing this, so this is a different part of it as well, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
I'm not, like, ultra dialed into the podcast thing. My wife does the morning after and chime out. KB. She does a couple podcasts, and she rocks it. I'm not super dialed in. Cooper and I did a little 9 and Dime for the team kind of thing, which was a lot of fun. But, yeah, I mean, just having the ability and the platform to kind of get out there and talk a little bit is cool. I know it's fun for everybody to get to know you guys, too, so it's cool.
Yeah, we have fun doing it,
Hell
especially when we get guys like this, man.
I appreciate you.
We got to talk about something that Tom Brady said, though. He's saying that college isn't developing these quarterbacks like they used to.
Mm-hmm.
How do you kind of see that as well? Like, do you see some of these young guys that come in that just are? It doesn't seem like they're as ingrained in maybe the X's and O's or their mechanics as much.
Well, yeah, and I think maybe kind of what he was thinking about too when he was talking about that is just, the ability to move and do all that. You don't get time in a system, right? Like, think about if you just changed offensive coordinators every single year, you'd be like, man, I don't know. I know a lot, but I don't know if I mastered anything.
Got everything.
You know what I mean? And got everything out of that. And so, I mean, because for me, it's hard to argue. I mean, what Jaden Daniels did this year as a rookie, I'm like,
all right,
pretty solid player, and I think
solid.
Really, all those guys that are coming out, like the rookies actually impress me, just the way that they can go out there and operate and play at a high level at a young age. But I do know what he means by that. Like, you're just kind of bouncing through college. That's a different feel. Like I went to a school, you guys went to a school, and you're like, feel good about that school, try to learn everything there is to learn about that system, and go from there. I think it's an individual case, like each player, but I am impressed by a lot of the guys that come out. And I'm a fan of, I want those guys to have success. Like, I don't want the guys to come into the league, and I'm not the old guy that's like, no, you can't take, don't have my job. Like, I want you to fail. I'm like, man, I want the game to continue to be great, and I want those young guys to play well. So I was impressed by them.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I think also it goes back to what you were saying. It's just a different game.
100%.
When you come into the league nowadays, I just feel like, and this might be me being older thinking about this, but it feels like it's a younger game.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't, I don't see the Ray Lewises at linebacker where it's like intimidation.
Yeah, you got to be able to move.
You're under center and you're staring at Ray Lewis and you're like,
break the huddle.
Okay, here we go. I know you're coming.
The game has changed.
Yeah.
They got to be able to cover and do more in the passing game. Don't get me wrong, Ray Lewis would probably still be good in today's NFL.
Yeah, no doubt.
Right.
Bobby Wagner.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, but yeah, it's, as the game changes, so do the positions.
Yeah, there's not a million dudes doing what I do, sitting in the pocket and throwing anymore. A lot of guys are moving around and making plays, and I'm jealous. I'm watching tape, and they're like, I know they just see man coverage, and they're like, I'm just going to run. And I'm like, that's an awful idea if I try to do that.
Everybody's back's going to be
second
turned.
to 11. It's not good for us if I do that. So, guys, get open.
Do you ever watch the combine, any of the college games?
I mean, I'll flip the combine on a little bit here and there. I watch some of the college games. I'm not like a huge college football guy. When it gets to the playoffs and the really good games, sure, I'll flick it on, but I'm not following a guy throughout the year. Now, I do watch those guys when they get into the league, like CJ Stroud. I thought he had an unbelievable rookie year. And I still think he had a tough year this year, but they had a ton of injuries around him and all that kind of stuff.
Offensive line struggled.
Yeah, and so they have, but I like watching the young guys play because it kind of revitalizes me, invigorates me a little bit. Like, golly, these guys are out there just playing carefree, ripping it. Sometimes when you have a bunch of years of experience, you got some scars too, right? And you're like, I mean, these guys are just letting it rip into this coverage and and I'm like, I remember CJ threw a touchdown. I think it was a preseason game. He threw a bang 8 into 3 buzz right over the safety's head, and I was like, I saw him that year. We played him or something or practiced against him. I was like, what are you doing ripping the skinny right in the rotation for a touchdown? He's like, hey, man, they didn't play it right. And I'm like, shit. Just to be carefree enough to be like, you know what? Shoot it in there and score. I'm like, man, I'd have been going that way. Yeah. And, probably been 2nd, 6. We'd been happy with the 4-yard completion, but my man's trotting off the field with a touchdown.
That is real. I mean, I noticed that even just for me, you get resistant to some things sometimes just because you've been burned on it before.
100%.
And I don't really try. And then you'll watch somebody else do it, and all of a sudden it works out. And you're like, man, am I wrong in this or am I right? Like, what's going on here? I mean, it sounds like yours is pretty black and white, but
but like the further you go, no, I'm with you. The further you get in your career, you got to fight that sometimes, right? Where
for
you're like,
sure,
man, like I know how they should be playing that defense, and they're not playing it right. But like I went over here and this was open, even though I know it shouldn't be. You know what I mean? You're like the teams that are really ultra like undisciplined on defense don't want to give away any secrets, but those are, but those are tough ones to play sometimes, right? Because you're like, you know, you may get a freebie and score or whatever, but a lot of times, man, you're passing something because you know the coverage and it's wide open because they blew it, you know, and it's tough. You know,
it's
tough
when Calvin Johnson's double covered because you're like, man, he's
where
double,
else
but
do I throw?
Fuck, it is Calvin.
Yeah, no doubt.
What do you see anything when you're watching like a young quarterback where like, oh man, he's got it, or like what would you see out of a trait in a guy that you like to see out of a quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, I think poise is a huge one, right? Like, because I think that helps, you know, withstand time. I think quarterbacks, like so much of it is like longevity. How often can you do it? How many years in a row can you just go out there and be that player? Sure. And there's going to be times where things around you or you are battling something or wherever, and it may not be as good, but like what are you when times are good, when times are bad? Also in game, like, hey, it's fourth quarter, we need you. Like, what does that look like? I think that's something to me that, you know, helps, you know, predict and project what guys are going to be like down the road, because that's what they're all looking for, right? They don't want like a guy to be really good for 1 year. They want him to be good for a long time. And that's something to me that, like, you look at what Jaden Daniels was able to do. I mean, those guys, they proved it both, I think, through like longevity of a season, but also in game, in big moments, being able to come up for the team is pretty cool.
I forget what there was, like 11 wins or something like that, like at the last
drive. I mean, there's
something crazy,
all sorts of them, right? I mean, had the massive Hail Mary that everybody remembers, but there were a bunch of other ones too that were great plays. Yeah,
I got to ask this before we get to this next segment.
Yeah,
you played with two of the best D tackles in this decade plus of football, and Aaron Donald and Ndamukong Suh.
Yeah.
Who frightened you more as a quarterback?
You know, I probably played more. I don't know. It might be kind of close. I was going to say I played more games against Aaron Donald than I did Suh, but I played quite a few against Suh there kind of at the end. I would say having, you know, experience with both AD is, it was a different deal.
I agree.
Because there was like, the get off was crazy. I mean, he just wrecked practices. Suh was that way too in a lot of instances and was a great player for us in Detroit, and then, you know, bounced around and had some unbelievable seasons at other places too. But AD was that was something different. Just watching him go about his job every single day. I remember like the third practice I was there in training camp, we have no pads on, and we're running a quick game. I'm throwing a hitch to the field, and I smash my thumb on his helmet. And I'm like, yo, I just caught the ball. It's like catch, throw, bang. And I'm like, and next thing you know, everybody had the Guardian caps on. They're like, we're going to protect some, you know, but it was, but he was crazy in his ability. And I would say the respect that he got from offensive lines and other offenses was something I've never seen before.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, we treated him differently than any other defensive tackle that we ever played in. And Suh was, I think Suh was like almost, he like wanted to kill somebody.
Yeah.
Where AD wanted to kill somebody too, but it was like a different level of intensity.
I agree.
And AD, though, his like motor, it was every single snap, every single play. You could not take a play off, and he never took a play off. He was running. I don't know how he had that kind of conditioning.
It was
to this day.
Yeah. Well,
the combinedness of like his athleticism is like explosive in strength.
And he's a smart player
he just
too.
Never stopped.
Yeah, and he's a smart player. Like, I mean, he knew, like, you talk to him, like I get in the, you know, cafeteria and you sit there and you talk to him and he's like, yeah, I knew if I wasn't doubled, if the center didn't come to me, it's run away. Yeah. Because the center comes to me every pass play. Yeah. And if center comes to me, it's pass or it's run two. Yeah. Center goes away, like, you're not blocking me with two. Yeah. So he knew it was run away, and then he's shooting a backside gap. I mean, like, he was just like, could make decisions and go like that quickly. And just, it was impressive to be around him and watch him work. I mean, the way he worked out, we had a, I'll never forget. And he was crazy in the weight room. Oh, I know. Like, The Rock came in and worked out with him one time, and they're freaking
knife fighting.
Yeah, I mean, he's like, he's a maniac in the weight room, right? And I'll never forget. This was 21 or 22, maybe. Yeah. We had like a Make-A-Wish kid who had, like, a year before had been like, hey, my dream is to go like be with Aaron Donald for a day, kind of thing. And thankfully, this kid at that point had kind of beaten the odds and had beaten the cancer that he had, I believe, and like was really on the mend, and it was really cool. Like he came in and you're like, oh man, this guy's like doing good, right? High school kid, like bigger kid, like loved to play football. And AD was like, cool, come work out with me, right? And I'm like, I'm walking by, I'm like, yo, what is about to go down? Yeah, right. And I look over and like I'm over there doing like banded something, and like 30 minutes in, and AD's just ripping curls out, and this next thing you know, this kid is puking in the trash can in the hallway. And I'm like, AD, can you please like have a little a little understanding? Like,
the kid got what he wanted.
You want to be AD? You want to be
AD. It was on chemo for months, AD.
I'm like, God, can we just relax on the bicep curls for a little bit? It's like, how many do we do till we throw up? You know what I mean? It was just like unbelievable. I was like, this guy has no, I mean, the motor just never stops, man. So it was incredible.
I remember it was my first time playing in LA against the Rams, and it was a preseason game. And I'm number 3, closest to the line. We're running all go special. It's cover 2, or at least I see 2 high, and I'm thinking I'm just right up the hash.
Yep.
And I take off, and I'm like, man, I'm just gonna fucking dig for my first like 5 to 10 yards. And by the time I got to the like 5 yards downfield, I felt something throw me to the numbers. And I got out of that play like fucking like little dazed. I'm like, what in the fuck was that? And I watched it on film, and it was AD coming from the backside B gap and just fucking smoked me.
Oh, I believe it.
Because there was a blitz from the other side. And I was just like, what the fuck? Yeah. I had never felt like more of like the lightest thing I had never moved that fast before ever in my life by anybody.
I remember I was in Detroit. We were playing a game against the Rams, and they were in St. Louis still at that point. Jim Bob was our coordinator, and I dropped back to pass late in the game. We need to play, and Aaron, I have 2 hands on the ball, right, like this, and Aaron just comes up from behind me and just rips both my biceps apart. The ball falls down the ground, and I'm like, I'm looking at him, and I'm like, I come over to the sideline. I'm like, I'm pissed, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do there. He's like, you got to find a way to hold on to it. I'm like, go fuck yourself, man. Like, you think I'm going to be able to hold on to this? This monster
Jim Bob.
He just went like this and like kindly separated my arms. He's like, I'll take the ball. And I was just like, what do I do? Like, there's
is that what I was supposed to do? Hold on to it. Got it. Thanks for
That's how this works.
Dude, I was with Jim Bob. I'll never forget when he came up. We will probably cut this.
Bro, gotta tell it though.
Tell it anyways.
So I'm sitting there. We had just hired Nick Sirianni and Shane Steichen, and Jim Bob was on the staff. I had never met Jim Bob.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know about him in Detroit really.
Yeah.
He comes up and he says, "Hey Jason, my name's Jim Bob Cooter," and I just like fucking laugh. Like audibly, like a giggle.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's fucking real.
My bad on that one.
Awesome fucking dude. Though. I love Jim Bob.
He's a great dude. All-time name. All-time name. All-time name.
It caught me just so off guard. Like, I was like, what the are we like in Varsity Blues right now?
100%. 100%. You know, he's got like, the name matches. I think his childhood home backed up to the Jack Daniels distillery, like as it should, right?
It
with a name like Jim Bob Cooter, it better.
Are you kidding me?
Back up to Jack Daniels. So yeah, he's one of a kind.
Thank you to Intuit TurboTax for sponsoring today's episode.
If your schedule is as unpredictable as ours, trying to lock down an in-person appointment with your tax pro can get a bit tricky.
But now taxes are matching with a TurboTax Live expert on any device.
They do your taxes for you and get you your maximum refund, all while you go about your day listening to your favorite podcasts.
Nice. Who wouldn't love to kick back with a cup of coffee, feet propped up, while a tech-savvy tax expert makes sure you're getting every dollar out of those business trips, huh? I mean, that does sound pretty dreamy.
When you match with TurboTax Live Expert, they have cutting-edge tools for any tax situation.
It's 2025. It's time to file.
Now this is Taxes, brought to you by Intuit TurboTax. Thanks to our sponsor, Audible.
Hey! Let Audible expand your life by listening. That's right. Explore over 1 million audiobooks and exclusive Audible originals that'll inspire and motivate you, all in one easy app.
Whether you're breaking free from old patterns or building better ones, Audible puts wisdom in your ears. Just open the app and dive in with thousands of titles covering every goal and interest. Your next listen is at your fingertips.
Like the Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins or 10% Happier. by
Ooh.
Dan Harris. I'll take 10%
I'll
happier.
take 10.
I'll take 1,000% happier. I'm going to one up Dan Harris.
Yeah.
I'm going to 10-fold
I'm
up
going to go
him.
10,000% happier
I'm
than
going to
you.
100 times him.
I'm going to 1,000,000% happier.
Yeah.
Get advice and insight from leading professionals and experts on health, relationships, career, finance, investing, so much more. There's so much opportunity to learn and more to imagine when you listen.
Start listening today when you sign up for a free 30-day trial at audible.com/newheights.
All right, 92%ers, if you're listening to me right now, this is your sign to stock up on my favorite energy drink of all time. That's right. Accelerator. I'm telling you, this is the best tasting energy drink on the market with the best flavors, more than one, multiple, a bunch of them. And they're all zero sugar and uses 100% natural caffeine.
Nice.
Doesn't get any better than that. Every single flavor is a banger. And they just dropped a new item on Amazon. Jason, please tell them what I'm talking about.
That's right, Trav. 3 of your favorite flavors are now available in one variety pack. We're
Yes,
talking
sir.
Rocket Pop, Cherry Ice Pop, and Tropical Punch. That's actually a great trio right there. That's right. Cherry Ice Pop has always been one of my favorites. It's basically
baby.
Shirley Temple.
These flavors are 3 of my favorite. Obviously, Orange Ice Pop is up there as well. But
Orange Ice Pop. Yep.
Yeah. These 3, you can't go wrong
I'm not
with
even
these
going
3.
to lie. These are 3 very good flavors.
All right now.
Accelerator is clinically proven to provide sustained energy, accelerate your metabolism, and even enhance your focus. The drink is the real deal, people.
Upgrade your energy and go get your Accelerator at Amazon. All right, let's get into this last segment, brother.
We got to ask.
Yep.
Yeah, we got to ask. You can tell us to fuck off. You don't got to answer.
Okay.
But yeah, we always wrap it up with you. We got to ask, but you don't have to answer.
Oh, fuck.
We got to ask is brought to you by Mentos Gum.
Why are you
Because you
trying
keep doing the same note.
No, it's not.
You're doing the same note.
I'm doing a different note.
Do your note.
No. See?
Yeah, you were
It
different
sounded
that time.
terrible.
That time you were different.
Because I did the same note that time.
Go high. That was close. That was it. All right.
Yeah, no, this would be easy. Rapid fire, too. You don't even got to
Am I elaborating on these answers? Am I just one wording?
Yeah, you can
No,
listen.
whatever-
fuck off
whatever
is
feels
the
right.
quickest
Hit me with
answer
the
you can
question. Let's
give.
fucking go.
Yeah, that's right.
As of 2024, the only remaining active players in the NFL from 2009 draft class are you and Jets punter Thomas Morstead. Morstead.
Yes.
Steed. The EAD.
It's
could
a tough
be-
one. It's a
you
tough
can
one.
go, but
It's a
yeah,
tough one.
It can go both
Reed,
ways.
Red.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
My first grade daughter Hunter is doing those words right now. She was reading this morning. C, read. 100%. It's a real deal, bro.
I don't know who created this fucking language.
Yeah.
Do you plan to do whatever it takes to outlast
100%. I mean,
Morstead?
I've been waiting for him to just wither away at some point, but he just keeps going.
He's a machine.
We actually played the Jets this year. It's funny you say this. We played the Jets this year. I was unaware that Thomas was an 2009 draft pick. And
Did he fucking challenge you?
post game, he fucking came up to me. He was like, "Yo, can I get a picture?" We're like the only 2 guys still doing it. So, yeah, it was nice to get a picture
That's awesome.
with my guy.
It'll be the last one.
Yeah, right. Don't ever ask me for a picture again.
I love it.
But no, I mean he's got a gig that promotes longevity, so
For
we'll
sure.
see. I don't know if I can keep going, but he probably can.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
can keep going forever.
I don't like my odds.
Do you have a favorite throw?
One is tough to come up with. I mean, like throwing a fade to Cooper to win the Super Bowl was pretty awesome.
Yeah,
The play
that'll-
earlier in that drive to throw the in-breaker I had where I kind of
Hell yeah.
looked him off was
Yeah,
another
iconic.
good one. Those are the 2 that come to mind, and then weirdly enough, the 3 that hit me first were all to him. But the one in Tampa in the divisional round when they brought the zero pressure on the 2-minute drive, and he's running like a vertical push to clear out for a dagger,
Yeah.
and I like caught it backside safety whenever I was like, oh my god, this is zero, and just
Boom.
launched that one fade away. Those 3 are pretty good ones because they were like high
Meaningful.
leverage moments, right?
Sure.
Like there's some cool ones that you're getting blown out or you're winning big, but those were high leverage moments, and I was able to make it happen.
All right
We
now.
do have a submission from Andrew Whitworth. Recently told a story.
Big win. Oh, great.
He said one time you threw a bomb to Van Jefferson against Arizona I don't know if you remember this play.
Okay. It's got to
where
be 21.
you said fucking dime as you threw it.
Yeah.
Is that
was a
real?
good one. That was a good one. That too was a good one.
You like called like nothing but net.
Yeah.
Kobe.
It was a good one. Yeah, it came out of the hand good, and I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be sweet." and I'll never forget. J.J. Watt was on the sideline. He wasn't playing that game. He was hurt, and I like threw it and kind of like spun around and like. For some reason, I'm kind of cruising down their sideline, and I like lock eyes, like see him, and I'm like, "Oh, got him!" And I was like, "Also, thank God you're not playing." Yeah. Would not have been able to get that one off, but
would have been way harder with you in front of me.
But that was a good one. Van, when he got that one, that was kind of like a cool, like play action half boot that we had put in maybe that week or week before, and hit it. It was sweet.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was a cool one.
Who put in the fake spike?
In Dallas?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was not put in, Coach.
That wasn't?
No.
That was just you just swinging spike?
Yes.
Psych?
Well, I was like, so we throw a seam ball to Calvin in that the play before, and I thought he got in. Everybody thought he got in. Riley Reef was our left tackle at the moment, and he's celebrating like WWE style on the 50, like, oh, and his back is to me. I'm screaming high pitched like a girl, like, get over here, Riley. Yeah. And so everybody's kind of waiting for Riley to get back from his celebration. And so I'm standing at the line of scrimmage, and I've got time to kind of like look.
Yeah.
There's like 12 seconds left on the clock, and the D-line's just like chilling in the stands.
Yep.
Sean Lee was kind of just chilling at Mike linebacker, which is very unlike him because he was
very much.
What a stud.
He was a monster.
Oh
dude.
my God, he was a good player.
I hated
Super
blocking
smart.
him.
Me too. Yeah, he was tough. But so I had time to kind of see it happening, and I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna go. Like, I'm not gonna let him call another play.
Yeah.
We had just a spike or a kill it, whatever you want to call it. We had that called, and then I just decided to go for it myself, and thank God it worked out.
All right, now.
That would have been a tough one. Yeah, an all-time fail had it not worked.
Well, it did.
Yes.
Was your return to Detroit the wildest atmosphere you've ever played in?
Yeah, I would say so. I think both times really. Like the playoff game was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That was wild because we ran out for pregame warmups, and the place was just packed and just booing the shit out of me, and which is whatever. But yeah, it was that was a loud game. And then we came back, for the opener the next year, and it was crazy loud again. They support when they're rolling. They support, man. It's wild.
They're not fucking around.
No,
that's especially Dome City too. Oh man.
Yes, they're
that shit
rocking
gets
and rolling.
rowdy.
Yeah, both of those were night games, so had ample time to
liquor up.
Yeah, right. Get ready to rock and roll. So they were.
We're going to remove any type of barrier we have to congenialness.
What the fuck did you just say?
All right, I'm going to stop talking.
What you meant.
All right.
I knew where you were going. To being nice.
Yes, there we go. What do we got? You're a father of 4 girls.
Yes.
As I am about to be.
Yes.
You got any advice?
Buckle up. No, it's a blast, man. We saw each other not too long ago, and we were talking about it. It's a blast, man. My 7-year-olds will soon be 8. 6 and a 4, so we're like rocking and rolling. We're in leotards all the time, doing gymnastics around the house.
Hell
it's
yeah.
crazy. So I don't know, man. I at this point I'm like, I don't even know what I would do with a boy. Like I can't even wrap my head around it. So I'm just like, I'm all in on the girls.
Throw them that pigskin. Let them sling it, man.
I can figure it out. You know what I'm saying? I don't really
definitely
know.
Figure it out, but I mean, changing a diaper with a nutsack there just feels like it would be weird.
Agreed.
Like wiping shit up a nutsack. Like I don't want to be a part of that.
I'm with you. 100%.
Just gotta shine those nuts, man. Just gotta shine those things, man. Where are we at?
Baby nutsacks, I think, is where we left off.
I think that's where we stopped.
We're on baby nutsacks.
Well, back on the nutsacks.
I don't know where that's at in the rundown.
Former offensive coordinator. No, I'm kidding. Your former offensive coordinator, Kevin O'Connell, told a story about a game before he was head coach where a QB fell down a skinny staircase at Lambeau. Do you recall this?
Yeah, well,
Was that QBU? No?
No.
Oh, shit. We've narrowed down the suspects.
That was the guy before me.
Oh, shit.
That was JG.
Oh, no way.
I guess that's why I was obviously not there for it, but allegedly he took a monster spill down those, those like
Fuck
turf.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hell
Yeah, that's old school
down
shit back there. That
tunnel?
AstroTurf. Yeah.
Yeah.
He, I guess he took a spill. I don't know. I wasn't there for it, but that's not a fun way to start your day at Lambeau. No. It's going to be tough enough already.
Yeah.
He's bounced back.
Yeah. He's great.
Do you feel you haven't gotten enough credit for the no-look passes common in the NFL?
I I don't care too
Think
much
about
for
it.
credit. I'm not.
Yeah.
Keep a credit meter if whether I'm getting enough or not. But no, that for me those started when I played with Calvin, because everybody in the building knew I was trying to throw him the ball.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right, how do I get all these guys off my scent a little bit? You know what I mean? Like, and so I'm trying to move backers, and when they're like just sending all the zone coverage right there, and I'm trying to like maneuver it. So it kind of started then.
Sure.
Like, all right, how do I still get this guy the ball? And so, it obviously evolved into more tactical use of spreading it around a little bit. But I don't ever think about it. It just kind of happens organically. I mean, I know, Pat does them, and it's not, at least for me, like I'm not like talking about it. You just kind of feel it, and you're playing the game. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you feel like you need to move somebody, and you move them.
Yeah,
there you go.
I'm with you.
It's that easy. Just don't look where you're throwing the ball.
Yeah,
It just freezes everybody for a second.
yeah, exactly right.
Well, we got you here. The first time we met you was out in Georgia.
Yeah.
The lake.
Yes.
Dude,
July 4th.
what was your first impression of a guy like Jason Kelce?
Jesus Christ.
I remember, I feel like...
And shout out to the Air Force boys,
Yeah, man, they know how to
First
go.
of all, that wasn't the
Chad Hall.
You let those guys out and look out.
Yes.
I mean, they'd be like, we've been just doing PT for the last 6 months. Like, haven't seen anything. And they walk out and it's like, chicks
Here
in
we
bikinis
go,
on a boat. It's
boys.
like, I was like, whoa. We gotta back up. But these dudes they were rocking and rolling, man. They were fun. But it was those were great times, simpler times.
Dude,
They were so
shout out
fun.
to Lake Lanier, man.
Yeah, man.
We gotta do another.
They were trying to
trip.
run it back at some point. I'm like, golly, man.
It would be hard now.
It's going to take a lot out of me.
Yeah,
I mean, but it
Different
was
days.
10 years straight they did that. 10 years. I think
didn't
I was
know-
there
I
for
didn't know it
9
was
of
that
them or
long,
10 of
yeah.
them. Started on like a Mastercraft wakeboard boat and then graduated into a
Full
giant
on
houseboat.
triple-decker houseboat.
Yeah.
Jesus. Before we get out of here, I got to have you read this from my former teammate and one of my favorite teammates of all time, Darius Slay.
Oh, love Slay.
He said, I guess you were known to pick on DBs occasionally, and this is a quote from Darius after the Eagles-Rams playoff game. It's, here, let me.
I got you.
Right.
Yo,
That one.
I'm not that old. I have good eyes. Okay, you don't have to zoom in.
So sorry.
It was fun as hell until he started trying me the last 2 drives. Like, goddamn, Staff. Like, damn. Calm the fuck down. Like, shit. This is so Slay. This is right on. This is so on brand.
That's why.
I know you've been slinging this motherfucker. Sling that motherfucker somewhere else. Well, Darius, I'm sorry. I just had to do something. I was trying to fight back, man. You guys were kicking our ass. So it was, I love playing against him. I played against him, quite a few times since, we've both been gone from Detroit, and he is, what a great teammate.
Oh, dude.
What a stud. Wish him nothing but the best. I love getting to, compete against him. He's a man.
That's it. That's we gotta ask, and that was brought to you by Mentos Gum. I think it's all we got,
Dude,
brother.
that
I appreciate it.
No,
You got anything for
thank
us?
you, brother.
No, you guys are the
All right,
fucking
cool.
great. I appreciate it.
92%
Thanks for
is
coming
Matthew
on.
Stafford.
Yeah, baby.
Let's go, baby. Appreciate you coming through, brother.
You got it, man. Thank
Best
you
of
guys.
luck this year.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
know
All
it.
righty.
All right.
All right, now let's wrap this episode up with some No Dumb Questions. No Dumb Questions is brought to you by American Express. That's right. Only doing one of these today, since we had a good interview. We're just going to pick what sounds interesting. And we are brothers. We didn't really prank each other growing up, but that's the topic for this one.
Hey guys, it's Willa from South Carolina.
Hey, Willie.
And I'm not a parent, but I do have 2 younger brothers. I'm in college, they're in middle school.
Okay.
And I'm babysitting them for about a week and a half coming up in like a month. And I want to pull some pranks on them.
Oh, wow.
But I don't know what to do because I'm not a very good pranker, but I want to get better at it because, let's have some fun. I don't
Sure.
want to do anything too cruel. Like, I don't want to traumatize them, but also, like, let's have some fun. So what are your favorite pranks to pull on, like, a middle school age boy?
Thank you so much. All right, Willow, let me tell you about a game called Poop Dollar, all right? Here's what you're going to want to do.
Poop Dollar
Here's
is
what
a
you wanna
great
do.
one.
You're gonna
It's
wanna
not cruel at all.
You're going to want to get it. They're in middle school. I feel like $1 works still for a middle schooler, right?
What? 100%.
Yeah. Take
A
$1.
$5 would get them excited, but they still might keep
Yeah,
the
if you
dollar.
really want to really get them, $20 bill.
Yeah.
That'll for sure work.
It's going to take some dirty work, though, so you want to go get some hospital
Yeah.
gloves.
Get some gloves. Glove up for this. Hopefully you have a pet. That's
Makes it
easiest
way
case
easier,
scenario.
but if not, just go to the park.
Yeah, or you can do it yourself, but I'm going to
We've
guess.
never gone that far.
Yeah, we haven't done that yet. You're going to want to take a $20 bill, fold it in like a U shape. roam your backyard for some type of dropping of excrement of some kind. Take the U shape, so the bill only, not your hand, Willow. Bill only.
But you got gloves just in case.
You smush it right in the middle of the bill. Now you have it in the middle of the bill. Fold that puppy over on top of each other. Set it down where the boys are going to be. You know they're going to wander by.
They're gonna pass by.
Yep.
It's going to be enticing. You got to be around though. So you got to camp out. You got to hide out.
Yeah.
You have to be there while they pick it up, or you're not going to be as satisfied.
Yes. And you're going to want to leave it so that they discover it, pick it up, and then find out that lo and behold, there's poop inside of it.
And you scream, "Poop dollar!"
So that'll work. That's a good one. That's a great one for middle school boys, or really boys of any age.
Yeah. Men, grown men, that gets them too. I would say another one that we knew about that we didn't really partake in as much, but icy hot in the jock strap always works. So you can go icy hot in the, it's kind of cruel, but takes about an hour to wear off.
Chris Pesic got me in ice hockey.
There you go.
Chris?
Yeah, of course I do.
We so the freshmen used to have to like unload the buses or something like that, and we had like loss or something like that, and I was trying to get the hell out of there.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't unload the bus. Came back the next day, put my jock strap on, went out on the ice. Not a fun day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both icy and hot, just as it.
Nothing icy about it. It was pure hot. There's zero ice to it.
Yeah, it can feel a little cruel. And if they don't wear jock straps, I mean, just the boxers work.
Yep.
Boxers work just as good.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't do that. That's too far to me, Willow. But what are some other good ones? We're just not great pranksters.
We didn't do a lot of pranking.
If you have one of those like hoses that like you got to squish on the squeeze, like on the sink, put a little rubber band around that so that when they turn the faucet on, it just sprays them right in the face. It's a good one. What are some other good pranks?
You could booby trap them. You can always booby trap them. Get a balloon full of whipped cream or something like that. They open a door, all of a sudden smacks them right in the face. That takes some good work. You got to be kind of handy with a tool in your hand.
Where's she from? South Carolina? Are there alligators in South Carolina?
I'm sure they've ventured up there.
I mean, if it's a pool day, get an alligator, duct tape its mouth closed, and throw it in the pool.
Yeah, well, good luck.
Yeah,
with that.
They're not that strong at opening their mouth. They're only strong at closing it. So it's duct tape will hold it. You'll be good.
Yeah, that sounds terrifying.
It'll be very scary though. You can always wait for them to be around their friends and then just pants them.
Yeah. Yeah. Got nothing for you other than they will hate you forever. Please let us know what you ended up doing. We can't wait to hear how you pranked these little twin fuckers in middle school.
Yeah.
So that does it for No Dumb Questions, brought to you by American Express.
Alrighty, that wraps up another episode of New Heights. Thank you to Matthew Stafford for joining the show. What an awesome conversation that was.
So much fun.
Awesome to relink after all these years.
Hell yeah.
Make sure you're subscribed on YouTube to the New Heights channel and follow New Heights on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to new episodes of New Heights early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
Don't you forget to hit up Wondery on the Wondery app, baby. Once again, New Heights, a Wondery show produced by Wave Sports and Entertainment and brought to you by Nike. When the world says you can't win, Nike says, so win. Follow the show on all social media at New Heights Show with 1S for fun clips throughout the weeks. And thanks to our production and crew. And thank you to the 92%ers as always. We will see you next week. Peace.
Can we get a harmonization? What are you going to start off?
You want me to go down lower?
Yeah, go lower.
I can't do that one.
Where you at?
Gotta go real low.
Where you at? All right, so I'm up there. All right, go.
Wait, hold on. Now you're doing the whole thing?
Yeah, I'm going to try and.
All right.
Where's my ending note again? Well, now you're higher.
All right,
I can't find where you're at.
Go,
I can't. I have no idea where you're at. You're all over the place.
This is why I don't do music.